got out of the Cycling Savvy class?
Well, I'm sure that I was the most inexperienced cyclist of the group, and had a 3-speed bike that was probably 40 years old that was functioning at 2 speeds throughout the class. But you know, given that, definitely have not cycled a lot. I recently lost 130 pounds. So getting on a bike at all was not an option for me. I did, ride a tricycle, so I had some experience riding in the previous summer, a fair amount in Boston, but mostly on sidewalks and in parks. I've had over the years a lot of fear of riding in the road, so much so that I, living in Springfield, which is, a medium-sized city, didn't buy my daughter a bike because I was afraid of, her getting hurt, just being way overprotective mother. But and I think it's because I just feared it myself and didn't feel like I could give her the skills that she could get out on the road and feel like she'd be safe on the road. So really wasn't part of my life in a big way. And having taken the class was extremely helpful to me. From the beginning, the video was very informative, extremely helpful to see both the diagrams, so you first get a visualization of the diagram of what can happen, right-hand turns, left-hand turns, different things, trucks, all of these things that may not have meant as much to me as someone who cycles a lot, but it was like, it helped me to realize or see the things that I understand as a driver are things that from the opposite side. As a driver, what do you fear when you see a bicyclist? And so it was really helpful to see that and kind of put some pictures to what are the things that I did fear about riding. And then actually seeing the video footage afterwards where you see somebody riding the bicycle and, all in one session. So you're getting the picture version and then the actual video where the camera's on the bicyclist. I really liked that a lot. And you're actually out on the road while still being in a classroom. I thought that was really helpful. The next day, I had a hard time. Eli had to really help me a lot. I had a hard time, just was really nervous in doing the train the bike. I just had a hard time managing my bike at first, and so I got more and more frustrated with that as time went on. But got to a point where, thankfully, that part of us that kicks in and says, "All right, I'm going to get this. I'm not going to quit on this. I'm going to, get back on this bicycle and make this work." And so once that happened, that was good. Then I felt a lot more just like I could handle my bike, which was initially like, how am I going to go anywhere in Portland if I can't maneuver in a parking lot? That was a very depressing moment for me. But Eli was like, "Oh, look, Theresa, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Go closer, do this, do that." That really helped to have that very, it's like having really one-on-one attention and geared to me, what I was having trouble with. And then when we get out on the road, watching other people. So I'd never been in a group cycling ever. So I never experienced that. And so that was really fun because there's all of just being in a group cycling. That's really, really nice. You don't have to be the first one out. You can be like, and you're learning by example, watching other people ride, or people would, signal, look out for the pothole, or, just different things. And it made the traffic less scary to me. But then when we got out and we were actually had to go on our own, and I remember I think the first one was going down a hill and, going to the bottom to a light. And maybe that wasn't the first one, but, going to the light and making a left-hand turn. I started to feel really bold about it, and very comfortable. Like I could command the lane. And that was a great feeling, So instead of being really afraid even to be on the road, even the side of the road, forget that. It's like, where's the training wheels and the sidewalk? It's like, okay, I can now experience being in the middle of the lane and be comfortable with that. That was great. I mean, I can't even express how it changed my perception of riding a bicycle in the road, riding a bicycle as transportation, riding just to ride, just because it's a joy, you know, and not be afraid. And I think the things that really helped, you know, John and Eli were really helpful about in emphasizing communicating with the drivers. And that was really helpful, not just with hand signals, but like, I'm slowing down or different things that show that you are sensitive. You're not ignoring the car on the road, that you are aware that you are sharing the road with other vehicles, and that you are sharing, you're giving them instruction. You're letting them know what you're doing so that they relax as well, you know, so they're not afraid, what's this bicyclist doing? Because easily, I'm certainly one of those people that once I'm afraid of something, I panic. So it kind of helped me calm down a little bit too, to be able to say, okay, you know, I'm going to slow down here, or know that I could have a little bit of communication with someone in a car, you know, and that they would be happy to know that I'm communicating with them. They would welcome that, because they don't really know what you're doing unless you tell them in some way. So I like that a lot, and I think that's a really big key to safety, is learning to communicate and being able to be secure yourself. You know, I can ride in the middle of the lane and not worry about whether or not I'm going to get hit by a car, and be present, you know, really present in the road, and not overtaken by vehicles around me. Oops. So it was a phenomenal experience. I've been told lots of people, I went to this training, and I've probably told about, you know, I don't know, a good handful at least, and still working on recruiting people, most of which are cyclists or teach cycling, partly because I think they don't. I'll ask them if they know about the training, and they'll say no. And ask them, well, how do they, you know, what do they use in terms of their own knowledge? And they don't give me a real clear answer on that. So I'm grateful that there's a very clear, very well thought out curriculum and practice that helps people, particularly people like me, who haven't had a lot of experience and are really want to ride on the road, but are afraid to.
So have you noticed any differences in the way you think or act since you took the class, other than sharing the class with them?
Absolutely. Like the next day when we got back, I mean, I was like, okay, where's my bike? I want to get on my bike. It was fun. I had to go to somewhere not too far away, and it was just such a enthusiasm not to think about, let me get in the car to drive, you know, 10 minutes away, which is, I would do that. It was just a nice thing to say, okay, let me get on my bike and ride, you know, on the road by myself, you know, and not in a park. You know, I live near a park, so that's usually where I've rode my bike, because I feel more safe there. And so it was really great. It's a pretty busy road. Was able to get out there and feel like, yes, I can do this. And granted, I need a lot more practice, and probably it would be helpful if I had another bike. The one I have is a treasure, but going uphill with 2 speeds, I'm really glad for the last year and a half of exercise and yoga classes, because I was, you know, it was not as easy as it could have been. So I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking forward to, you know, getting another bicycle that'll help me get around and broaden my experience, you know, do more and learn more and keep practicing.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I don't know if you want to, Jessica.